There we go.
Okay, we should have sound now.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, Lord. Every time, man. Every time. Because. Yes. All right. Awesome. Hola, everybody. Let me see here. We got some new people. I want to say hello. Hello. Hola, Carlo. Thank you for joining us. And I'll just skip past all the no sounds because.
Well, that's a good way of saying hello to everybody. You got people who
I
are on there.
I know. This is crazy. All right. So look, two weeks ago, we got totally cut off, and all you guys had was our logo in the corner and a black screen. And I put a ticket in with Restream, and they owned up to it.
Yeah.
They said they had an issue. They could see where everything froze up. They supposedly gave us 2 free weeks of
an upgrade
that we obviously were not able to use today. So there you go. But it wasn't us, I promise. Finally, somebody admits that it's them.
Now, just in the off chance, I got to bring this up. Here in this little part of Tulum.
Oh, Lord.
In the last couple of days, we have had a number, and I do mean it's a large number, of power outages. So if we suddenly disappear again, this morning.
The struggle is real.
Yeah, this morning it was almost an hour and a half. So.
I'm sorry. I got no sleep last night. And the reason I got no sleep last night is because every time the power went off, when it would come back on, all the lights would come on and the microwave would make this horrendous noise every time. So I know that the power was off and on at least a minimum of 4 times in the middle of the night. And that doesn't include this morning when I was trying to make my breakfast and brew a cup of coffee and all this, and it went off in the middle of that.
And we don't even know when that came back on because we left.
We left and went and did something for half a day because I was just like, I'm fed up with these power fluctuations.
And when we left, there was 8 CFE trucks parked out on the road.
But this had been working up for a week.
Mm-hmm.
This has been happening for a week where the power would just go off and then it would come on and then it would go off and it just on. And when it goes off, we also have no water.
Yeah, because there's an electric pump that services this entire condominium complex. And
we got people working above us, people working below us. And,
well, and I think the other part of it is there is so much construction in this particular little barrio of Tulum.
Yeah.
And I mean, every place there is an empty lot, there are people rapidly putting up buildings.
Yeah.
So it's just, woo.
It's growing fast.
Yeah.
There's a lot of halfway done construction, and there's even a lot of construction that has yet to begin. So there's a lot going on here in Tulum, and the road isn't wide enough for it.
No, but the whole the premise for tonight was it is hard to believe that it has now been 2 years.
2 years, guys.
Since we put out our very first video, and all of you have come and joined us on this thing. And thank you, thank you. And you guys have become great friends with all of us. I mean, that's just, it's become a great, big, happy little family here. And we're having a blast doing it. And there's some that are on here, like Cindy, who's been here, God, close to the beginning.
Yeah, really. It's kind of crazy to think about it. 2 years.
I know. And, that's Max has been around and Lisa and Terry and there's a lot, and it's been fun, and we're glad that you guys have been along the way with us, and we will be so happy to return to regular Mexico.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me say hello to everybody who's popping on real quick, and hey, Thank you, Terry and Stephanie. We appreciate the the celebratory, yay, 2 years. It's kind of crazy. And I'm going to try to get to this. So Cindy, yeah, I don't know if this is typical of Tulum.
It is for us.
I'm going to say probably where we are, it probably is, because there's so much construction, like entire buildings and condos. And there's like, yeah, I mean, it's
On this little stretch of road, there are 3 complexes that are complete. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 condominium complexes that we have seen that are in the construction phase.
yeah, that's just the ones we've seen.
And that's not counting the road going out to, you know, the main drag to get back into Tulum, that little street that we're on.
Yeah.
And it's just, and that you go to the main drag, head out to there.
Yep.
And the entire way is lined with cars and trucks, and because it's nonstop.
When I first came to Tulum 10 years ago, the main drag going through Centro, I don't believe it was 4 lanes wide. I'm pretty sure I remember it only being 2 lanes wide. And I know for sure they didn't have these sidewalks that were as wide as a street. That was not there. And we went into Centro today and just walked around because we had to kill some time. And it's big, it's grown, and it's busy. There, it was hard to find parking.
Yeah. Yeah, we ended up having to park two streets back off of the main drag, and we were lucky we found one, and we're able to just stroll up there and I'll give them credit for this. It's a lot like
it's clean.
It's a lot like La Quinta, Fifth Avenue in PDC.
Not as busy,
but they're not on steroids. I mean, they're very laid back as far as, hey, come look at my stuff. You know, I've got stuff in here for you, and you know, not the over aggressive that you get going down through PDC.
Ooh, something happened though. So I said to him, you know, I should buy some more Cipro, because the only places you can buy Cipro without a prescription are the tourist pharmacies.
And you got to be in a tourist location.
Right. And so here we are. And I'm like, we're not going to be in one for very long. So why don't I see if I could just get some just to keep it on hand in case I need it in the future for something. And I know that when I do need it, it's 10 days. Twice a day. Right. I need 20 pills for a treatment if I need the Cipro. Okay. So last time we bought it, again at a tourist pharmacy, it was 550 pesos for 28 tablets, I believe it was.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's not horrible, but it's definitely not what you would pay if you had a prescription and went to a pharmacy.
No, if you went to the doc in the box and then went into the similares, it's going to cost you, I think, like 160 pesos for that bottle of 28, and maybe 200 pesos for the doctor. So you're still talking between 300 and 400
300 pesos or so.
300 to 400 pesos.
So I go to a tourist pharmacy last time, and it's 550 pesos for 28 tablets. I walked into a tourist pharmacy today. I got for 700 pesos. I got 100 of those tablets. I was like, are you kidding me right now? And the right stuff, is it good stuff?
How do we know?
I actually asked somebody, our last hostess in Playa Car, how do the tourist pharmacies
get around
some of the laws where some of the stuff like antibiotics will require a prescription at a residential farmacia? How do the tourist pharmacies get around that? And she kind of laughed and she winked and she goes, they add something to it.
They changed the formula.
They changed the formulation.
In some minute way, it's not 100% pure what you're going to get in YZA, Similares, Guadalajara, Auras. So there's a slight difference in the formula.
And that's how they get by the regulations. And I looked, and sure enough, my tourist pharmacy Cipro had sodium in it.
And that's typical additive.
So there you
No,
go.
you don't need salt. I'm surprised there's not a sticker on it that says excessive sodium.
That's true.
I mean,
So I don't know. I don't know, Cindy, if that's typical in Tulum, but I think it's typical where you have rapid growth. And if you have seen my Trish Advisors videos recently on Puerto Morelos, rapid growth. And it's only really gone crazy since COVID ended, because when COVID was happening, there was no growth. Everything got put on hold. And so then when COVID was lifted, they just went like all balls to the wall and went crazy with the growth. And that's what's going on right now.
Well, and you just got the people who are willing to come because they're fleeing for a variety of reasons. So it's not only is it they're building it, there has been a huge demand for it. I mean, so I mean, we went to some friends of ours last night who bought a house between here. Well, actually between Puerto Aventuras and Playa Car, and lovely home. But, you know, again, it's a whole nother complex that's being built right there. And you're just like, wow.
And there's another one being built across the street from them.
Yep.
So another complex. It's just complex after complex. And they, too, are dealing with intermittent electricity issues because of the building. They got solar panels installed, though. So I'm excited for them for having that. Carlos, we have not been to Chetumal. I don't know if we're going to go. I don't know. We still have a little bit of time. We can still discuss it if we want to make that trip. I'm not sure. What do you think?
I think the biggest issue we have right now is we are Q-root out. I mean, basically.
I'm going to say that's true.
I mean.
Yeah.
The whole we've done Riviera Maya, you know, between vacations down here, and it was a great way to introduce ourselves to Mexico and everything else. And we had a great education and introduction through this particular part of the country. But we just
Chetumal was on it's kind of on a want list for places that we might take a day trip to. It was never going to be a place we were going to consider living in. But to take a day trip maybe and see it. And we still have time for that. But
and I think the other thing is we were sort of going, you know what, we'll jump on the train and run down there.
Yes, that was definitely a biggie.
You know, I mean,
the Mayan train has changed a lot of our plans.
Not only ours.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Mayan train was supposed to have been completed to the Tulum airport. We always had the plan that we were going to take a trip all the way around, pretty much, and do the.
No, that was the plan. But
that's the plan. We were going to do the whole loop, but no, it's not done. And the segment that we're in right now, they don't even know when they're going to start it back up again, because they're not. I don't think they're through that process yet. I mean,
it was just February 18th, just basically a month ago.
Yeah.
That the judge in Merida ruled that they had to do more environmental studies and a handful of other things. And that just put the handcuffs on them. And it's going to be, there's no way that I foresee this happening in 2024.
I guess. So,
I mean,
Chetumal might not make it this time. It may happen in the future again if we're on a vacation and we want to check something out.
Possibility.
I'm a little concerned about Chetumal. I know it's very lovely right now, but it could be like the Tulum of 10 years ago that I remember, which is not Tulum today. And that may happen to Chetumal as well. It's like they just keep pushing further and further south.
And that's just going to continue as the demand goes.
God dang that microwave. That's what was waking me up. I gotta go fix that. I don't know what the issue is, but when the power comes back on, I need to push buttons and make it stop doing that.
Or it'll keep doing that.
Yeah.
So, whoa.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I thought you were gonna knock the light over. Yeah. So, and thank you for all of you who are giving us congratulations for 2 years, because when we first started this, we were sort of going, yeah, how
sorry. Earthquake.
Bull in a china shop there. It's like, geez.
I can't get through. I got big feet.
Same size as mine.
and oh.
Ooh.
So okay. So Max, getting a gist for having power outages, and she said that's why she moved earlier. Didn't plan from July. That thing makes me jump. It's so loud. Yeah, power outages. So, I mean, if you were moving, then, I mean, that was going on then. I think that's just something that's just going to continue to go on as this whole area, the whole Riviera Maya continues to grow and expand, and the infrastructure is not kept up with the level of growth. And, I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be an entitled person here, but damn it, I need electricity. I can't work if I don't have internet. And you know what? We're out in the jungle so deep, even though it doesn't feel like we are, but believe me, we are, because I can't even get my Telcel to get signal out here. We've got no phone signal. And when the power goes out, we have no internet. So it's just kind of, and it's happening a lot. What'd you do?
Yeah, no beeping no more.
What'd you do? Oh, he unplugged it.
No electricity, no beep.
Oh Lord. Gosh, thank you, Cindy and Patsy and Wilfredo and Anna and Dave. Hello, Dave. Thank you, everyone, for the congratulations. We cannot believe either.
It wasn't, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, I actually went back and watched the first video, and it was like, oh God, we suck. I mean, it just was like, yeah, we know what we're doing. We got this nailed. And now we look at it and go, ooh, we were bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We were pretty bad. I think all YouTube people start out that way.
And that's, and I remember when we were first looking at all this and everything else, and not everybody, there were advisors and people who were talking about YouTube and everything. And they were like, just get your first 50 out of the way, because you're going to look back at them and go, oh.
It's true.
Yeah.
Ooh, some news, more Max news. Rumors were that the grid in the area was competing with the mine train build. I would work online and I need power, and I literally had to go to, yes, hotel rooms. That's what I was just saying about the power. That is absolutely true. When you're dead in the water, you can't do shit. What are you going to do? I mean, you got to be able to live in a modern world.
Yeah. And here in this particular part of Tulum, there are no above ground cables.
No, they're underground.
Everything is underground.
Yeah.
Because we've seen, the guys going down in the manholes when its power's gone out. One of them, fortunately, they didn't even rope off the manhole. It was in the roundabout. But fortunately, there was a guy standing there.
Thank
and it was
God.
like, oh, I'd hate to have run into that tire right in the manhole.
I know. Yes, Winston. We were with Ernie on Retired Life in Mexico. No bull.
Yeah.
We actually, for those of you who don't know, Ernie Baca, Sir Dragon X, is the host of Retired Life in Mexico, No Bull. And we really, really liked his content because he's very straight, no fluff.
No bull.
And he has enough of a background to be knowledgeable, or at the very least know people who are knowledgeable in some pretty important matters.
And he has been able to maintain contacts on both sides of the border, so he does get the content and the ins on things that the rest of us have no way of accessing. So
exactly. And the thing about him, I'm going to put his thing right here. So the thing about our involvement with Ernie was one of those where we got on one of his Q&A sessions when we were very early in making our decision to come here. And I remember at that moment, we asked him, do you think we should start a YouTube channel about what we're doing?
that was the failed live.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, that was, he tried to do it through, the YouTube streaming, and it didn't work. And that's when he went to StreamYard. But originally he was like, well, I need somebody from the other side of the border. And because, if I have everybody that's from already down, I'm missing a perspective. And so he was like, oh, I know the perfect people. And so he reached out to us and was like, would y'all be willing to do this? And we jumped on there, and then it never went live. But we had about a 90-minute conversation with him. And then he was like, no, I'm bringing y'all back and we're doing this. And then then we did the full interview with him. But yeah, it was a fun 90 minutes. And that during that time was when he was like, yeah, nobody's doing it from that side of the border. So by all means, do it.
Yeah, the whole thing is there were a lot of people who were already in Mexico talking about how they got to Mexico and what they were doing in Mexico, but nobody was really talking about what they were doing to prepare to go to Mexico.
And of course,
that's what happened. That's how we got in it. So.
Of course, if we had stuck to our original timeline, we would only have now been in Mexico for a couple of months. So, I mean, it's amazing how
stuff happens.
Yep.
So it's a good question. I'm guessing Tulum won't make the list. Hand purple, blue beans.
Never was even.
It was never even under consideration.
No.
And the reason for that is, again, we had vacationed for many years in Riviera Maya, and we knew what kind of environment we were getting into, and it wasn't what we were looking for. How did we end up in PDC? Well, we ended up in PDC because our Campeche Airbnb ended up being a no-go. We couldn't stay there. And
right.
we needed a place at the last minute, and we kind of got forced back into PDC. How did we end up in Tulum? Well, when we planned all this out, I didn't know that one of my favorite bands, My Morning Jacket, who has this festival at the Hard Rock Riviera Maya, was going to do it this year. And we were not going to be in the area when it happened. So we had to rearrange some travel. And I'm like,
would have broke my heart.
I know, but I didn't want to miss it.
No,
but we didn't want to have to haul in everything that we own in our car and our roof bag into a resort.
No, we've already scared one bellman to death.
I know.
Already.
It's like I didn't want to haul all our stuff into this place for a 5-night or 4-night hotel stay. I'm like, let's just go get.
Nor do we want to subject our suite mates to have to work around all of our shit and everything else.
We got a 2-bedroom suite, and it was just going to be a nightmare. It's on the 2nd floor, and on and on and on. So I'm like, just let's get an Airbnb that's not that far from the Hard Rock, and we will just leave our things at the Airbnb while we go to the festival.
Yep.
That's how.
And I don't have any problems leaving it here. I mean, this place, I will give them credit. It is secure. It's quiet, other than during the daylight hours of construction. But I mean, that's not this place's fault. That's just what's going on in the environment. But it's very tranquil here.
Yeah, it's. But no, Tulum was never going to make it, and we've learned since being here for a full year and doing our 2023 expenses video. What we learned, it is so blatantly obvious. It costs almost twice as much to live in the Yucatan Peninsula as it does in central Mexico. So it's too expensive. It's just too expensive to live here, frankly. If I wanted to pay what we would pay to live in this area, I could be paying rent in the United States. Pretty much.
Well, we'd be back in Asheville. That's exactly what it would feel like.
Exactly.
I mean, Tulum and Asheville.
They should
be sister cities. You know, they could do that. And
oh, Max, I lived there 5 years ago, and I wouldn't overstep it back in that place. You know, I mean, it is what it is.
I ain't going down this road because
I just sort of feel it's a very touristy spot. I see 2 types of people who really do come here. What I see are really young kids who come here to party. And then I see, I want to say, a demographic about our age maybe, who are probably very bohemian. That's what I see. I see the bohemian older people, and I see the young party people.
I'm taking the 5th.
That's not either one of us.
I'm taking the 5th, so I don't want to go. I don't want to get on that soapbox because I'm going to say something that no.
Oh, let's see, Winston. What after the nomads for 2 years and not even done yet, are you going to be able to steadily live in one place?
Oh, hell yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
Wilfredo, we're getting tired.
That's why we're doing the 6 months
Yeah.
in Querétaro, because we need the break from the.
We need a break from the constant move. 3 months starts to feel good. But when we only do 1 month, it feels like we just got here and it's time to go. And it's a lot of work, especially in places like this one, for example, where the parking lot is literally at the opposite end of this place.
Yeah.
And we have to walk around trees and under jungle bush
Around the pool
to bring our things in.
And then we have to take the machete out and hack our way up the hole.
And then we got stairs to climb. And we got heavy stuff. And so, yeah.
No.
It gets to be hard. It's hard to move things like that.
And I think the first year, 9 months to a year, the adrenaline of the excitement of the move and everything else, boom, 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 boom. And I really want to say, I think that the whole Campeche thing.
Oh, that did it.
I think that was because of packing, going to the resort, 10 days at the resort, repack again, go to Campeche, unpack, the next day, pack again, come to Playa Car, unpack, 7 weeks, pack, and that suddenly
Campeche put the nail in it for sure.
That just sucked a lot of energy out. And it's like right now, knowing that there is that 6 month respite coming up in Querétaro.
Eventually.
Yeah.
We got
it's less than a year.
9 months till we get there. We're talking like
but I'm saying is that sitting at the end is going to give us the energy to finish out the rest of this year till then.
Yeah.
And give us a chance to recharge the batteries.
And Alfredo, we are here in Comitan, BCS. Serious construction here, 90% Canadian, US, hammer and saw all day. Well, it can't be too quiet if it's hammer and saw all day. I don't know. If you could be, okay, so in Playa, the condo that was literally 10 centimeters on the other side of the wall from us, it felt like they were coming in through the wall.
Yes.
With a jackhammer.
That was loud.
It was loud. It vibrated. I couldn't even talk. We couldn't talk. It was that loud to each other in the same room.
Now, I'll say this. We got lucky because we were doing the expat Spanish at the time, and it never occurred during either one of our lessons.
That's true.
How we managed to dodge that,
I don't know. And then here, well, it sounds like they're drilling down in the floor.
Because they are. Well,
and they're moving things around.
And they installed a gate.
And they installed a gate downstairs.
Right down below us.
So they were drilling down there. It's loud. All this is concrete. And to be able to drill holes in concrete, it's loud.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But it's clean.
No, yeah. We're right now just looking forward to reaching the end of we do Boys to Men, end of the road.
So Max is saying we need to go check out Chetumal and Bacalar. I know. It was kind of like on that, maybe we should go check it out.
And that was part of the whole plan of doing it with the train.
Is that a 2-hour drive from here, I think?
Yeah, it's about that.
I think it is about a 2-hour drive. Could be a day trip.
Yeah.
If we have the energy.
Like Monday or Tuesday.
If I can get some sleep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking of the bed.
Oh, God. Okay, you see this thing we're sitting on right now? This is where I've been sleeping since the third day we got here. Because
the bed is like a taco.
Yeah.
It's
it has no center support.
And it's a good mattress. It's a fairly new mattress because this is not an old place. And so, I was like, all right, hold on. Let me see if I can. So I rotated when I was changing the sheets, washed the sheets while I had the sheets off and in the washer. I rotated the mattress because it's king, turned it 90 degrees and was like, All right, now maybe the hips will sink a little bit, but we won't be rolling into the center of the bed. Go to put the sheets back on, right back in. I'm like,
Nope.
what the heck is
Nope.
going on? Lifted up the mattress, looked underneath, and it's got slats that go all the way across, but there's no center support in the middle of the slats
Nope.
to keep them from bowing. And so the weight of the mattress is causing it to sink in the center.
Yeah. And both of the bedrooms that are here both have king beds, and it's the same scenario in both beds. He literally rolls to the middle of the bed, and I have a hard time keeping my over on top of him, and I can't sleep like that. I actually injured my tendon or something in my elbow during one of our moves a couple moves ago, and even just trying to keep pushing myself over like this, it hurts my arm. It's uncomfortable. I can't sleep in the bed because I can't keep myself from rolling to the middle of the bed. So I gave up. I've been sleeping on the couch. It's like, nope.
Yeah, well, in 2 weeks you get a different bed. So
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know if I could get some sleep between the fact that I'm sleeping on the couch, the microwave keeps waking me up, the electricity goes off and on, and the lights blind me when it comes on because I can't figure out what shuts what off when it goes off. And yeah, good times. I arrive at Tulum Airport in 17 days on my way to a resort. I hope that the resort is providing you a shuttle. Please tell us that you've got a shuttle.
Because
that's all I can say.
That was eye-opening when I did that research on what the ground transportation costs were from the Tulum airport. I was like, whoa, that was insane.
Wait, why am I getting my meds in Akumal? I'm confused. So I basically, I only got Cipro. Otherwise, we went to Farmacias Similares, and I don't mind going to that no matter where they're located for the rest of the stuff. But why Akumal? I'd like to know.
See, Lisa was thinking along the same lines I was.
What's that? And then down to Chetumal Bacalar. Pristine and peaceful. I believe it probably would be. I really, really hope it can stay that way. I don't feel in my gut that it will last.
You want me to take a bet on that?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to turn into Tulum. I feel so bad for those people.
Well, I feel bad for people.
Smoke detector. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
and he did, Lisa. He unplugged it. So awesome.
I'm not going to try and figure it out. I know that it will not beep without electricity. So
I know.
Now, plugging it back in is going to be a pain in the butt, but we'll worry about that after this is done.
Wait, I actually thought you guys were great due to your honesty. Well, thank you, Winston. Thank you. And that's how we want it to be. That's exactly what we wanted the entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no point. Here's how I feel about it. I'm going to tell you how I feel. When I watch YouTube, me personally, it's for two reasons and two reasons only. I'm either watching it for entertainment or I'm watching it for information. I need to know how to do something. It doesn't matter if it's instructional videos or education. It's either for entertainment or it's for information.
Yep.
And if it's for information, I want it to be accurate and honest information. I don't see any benefit, for example, some crazy clickbait. Then you watch this video and at the end of your 15 minutes or 30 minutes, you want your life back and never got what you were going to get that you thought you were going to get from the title. That drives me insane. It makes me so angry. And I'm like, we're not going to do that. If we're going to do this, it's going to be exactly what we said it is. And we're only going to say exactly what we know to be true.
Or our perception of the truth.
Our perception.
But we're not we've experienced.
We're not going to make stuff up. We're not going to try to get clicks. All that crazy stuff. It was never.
Well, we try and get clicks,
I know,
but we try and do it on an honest basis.
Honesty,
yes.
Yeah. And that's just what we always set out to do. It needs to be honest.
Let's be for real.
Yeah.
We were tickled pink that we had a 40,000 view video. We were like,
I know that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what it was all about. It was about being real and honest and giving as much information that we could get from our perspective and our experience.
Mhm.
And that's it. That's all we ever wanted to do.
It's all we know how to do.
And become mega YouTube superstars like Mr. Beast. Never.
Yo, I would
Never.
take 1 year, Mr. Beast, and then we would all sit on here and have, every couple of weeks we'd party and have fun. We wouldn't worry about anything else. That's,
Greg, you are so right. And that actually did happen today. It really did. And like, he flushed the toilet, and I'm like, you just flushed all the water that we had.
Hey, I didn't know. No,
Yeah.
no one gave me a heads up that,
Yeah.
I may need to add to that,
And thank you, Temple. Yes, authentic. I think that is important. I think that
Well-
integrity and authenticity are very important, especially when you're doing something like what we're doing, and people are watching you and they're making life decisions based on what they're hearing from you. I mean, that puts a lot of weight on us.
Well, I mean,
that's
as my dad always used to tell me, son, you only got one name.
yeah,
Protect it.
yeah.
And of course, being a teenager and, what does he know?
Oh, wait. When the sun goes down, the hammering stops. No dog, no rooster. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's nice and cool. It's just that, once in a while when that happens, you get it. Things happen and people have to work. But man, when it starts going day out,
when it's 6 days a week and it's like,
it gets old. It gets tiring.
Yeah, Stephanie found us on Ernie's channel, and I mean,
I'm seeing it. Yeah, it was Ernie's channel. We owe a lot to Ernie.
Mhm.
Ernie actually, I guess we could call him a mentor in a lot of ways.
we wouldn't be in Mexico without her. We'd still be standing at the at the border,
Yeah.
trying to argue with that guy that we had. Yes, let us in. Let us in.
I mean,
Please let us in.
We have Ernie to thank for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Just some good information, things that are important if you're going to think about moving here. Keeping safe, if there's any updates in safety news. And then, of course, he shepherded us across the border.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was,
You want to talk about a tightening of the buttocks? That was like, huh?
I mean, we got our visa stamps at the consulate. When you get your visa stamp in your book, you have 6 months to get into Mexico to deal with the CONHEG.
Mm-hmm.
We were like
29 days.
29 days.
Yep.
And the customs agent at the border was arguing that we were too late.
He had the dates mixed up.
Yeah.
He was thinking we only had 30 days to get into Mexico after we got the visa at the consulate. And of course, I was stressed, but then I'm going, hold on, today's day 29. So even under your thinking, we're still within but at that point we had, oh my God, no Spanish skills.
There was no.
I mean, it was,
Spanish include things like "Yo quiero Taco Bell."
ooh, yeah. No, anyway, but yeah, I mean, it was, I mean, what we had learned from being at resorts, picking it up from the staff there and a little bit of this and a little bit of Duolingo, but we were no way prepared to have a conversation about the rest of our lives here in Mexico.
Right.
Wasn't going to happen.
So, I mean, and Ernie was there and he could talk to the guy and he literally argued with the man until everything got stamped and we were on our way in. So thank you, Ernie.
Yes.
And you know what? Alana, you're so right.
I know the fix to the bed.
They need to put something under those slats.
It's a matter if there was a Home Depot here,
Mhm.
and I could get a 2x4 cut. That's all it needs is a 2x4 going under every other slat at the right height to keep them from bowing, and that would keep the whole thing. But the problem is going to be, well, there's not a Home Depot here, and they're going to ruin the mattress, because as it continues to keep bowing, it's eventually.
Yeah.
And good luck getting that out.
Yeah.
Hi, Elsa. Thank you for showing up.
Yeah. So what happened? Where?
No,
Did I miss?
You missed.
Did I miss Elsa?
I got her.
Where? Oh, thank you, Elsa. Sorry, I missed you, honey. Oh, okay.
All right, I'm waiting to see what the.
And Patsy, you're so very welcome. We just think it's helpful. We notice a lot of people thinking about doing this, and they're not really sure if they want to come to Mexico, if they want to go someplace else. And a lot of people don't realize what it really does cost to live here. There are people who can very easily live on less than $1,000 a month here. It happens. It depends on where you are. It depends on what you want in your quality of life. There's so many factors. Location is huge.
And a lot of that also depends upon your level of Spanish.
True. And then
because if you're going to try and make it on that, you're going to be living amongst the nationals here, and you're going to be in their barrios, and which is great, but
right.
You just to totally enjoy and assimilate into that particular environment, you're going to need the Spanish.
Mariana from the Complete Mexico Relocation Guide channel has been putting out videos showing just how low cost of living can be. And she's trying to show realistic numbers. We've been doing that too. And we think it's important that people know that, because we have had people say to us, can you live on less than $1,500 a month? Well,
obviously not in an Airbnb. It ain't going to happen in an Airbnb.
Not in an Airbnb, but if you're paying rent, I think it is possible, but it's always going to depend.
Well, that's not exactly our budget that we're looking at, but yes, can it be done? Yes.
Okay. So, but not always in the places where we are. Not always in places like
not here,
not Viacar, not Merida, unless you're going to be really tight and you don't run a lot of electricity, and it might just be only you and you're only buying enough food for yourself.
Yeah,
pretty much. Otherwise, and it can be hard, because as the dollar fluctuates, that Social Security check that you might be getting in isn't going to go as far sometimes. And in other times, it might go a little bit further.
And I didn't even check to see what the peso, but in the main drag there on Tulum, they were getting 16 pesos to the dollar. Now that's that's the money exchange, people, and we always know that's about the worst possible rate you're going to get.
Yeah, but people need to know what it's really like, what realistically, what does living look like in cost here. And we aren't 100% quite there yet, because we are in Airbnbs, and that's not realistic. But what?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying. Mark, you have a question. Have you?
Well, if you go to the next one, or there's a couple down there, I think then we get the.
Have you found a nice place to get? Okay, Terry.
No, right below it.
Sausage fingers. I love it.
Yeah, I'm still getting them from Black Chazaro. Bless you, Annie, Vet, and Arlene.
Yes.
They take care of me there. The general manager of Black Chazaro lives in Querétaro, because that's in Ezequiel Montes is where Black Chazaro is, and he graciously drops them off at our friends Annie, Vet, and Arlene's house. and they give him the cash, and then they put it in a DHL box and ship me my cigars. And I haven't found any place that's come close to matching them price wise. So
That is true.
And
we thought cigars were going to be cheaper in Mexico than they are in the U.S. That's
No.
not the case.
And so, if it weren't for those two, I don't know what I'd be doing. But they get me taken care of. And, when we get back to Querétaro, there's a good bottle of red wine, a bottle of scotch, for the two of them.
Hey, Ernie. Hey, hold on, Ernie. That's
Yes.
right. And he did. He fought for us to the mat.
He was telling him, you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
It is so true.
No, got seis meses. No, 30 días. And it's like, oh God, no.
We're sitting there sweating bullets, and he's rambling. I'm like, okay, something's happening here. That's so awesome. Oh, okay. So what if we put the mattress on the floor? I don't think we really have the room to do that. I don't know what we would do with the bed.
I don't know I think that's a cement base that it's in. I'm not sure if that's
really.
Yeah, I think that's almost like I'd have to look at it, but we got.
Yeah, at this point in time, it's not even worth the effort because we got 2 weeks. We're going to be at the festival.
Well, no, 2 weeks we'll be doing live, and then the next day we'll be going
to the festival,
and then that will truly be our anniversary.
Yes, our anniversary. Yes.
And how long is it? I know.
17.
Ooh, she got it.
Damn it! I can never remember the year. I know the month and the day, and I never remember the year. Guys, okay, this is weird. We flew out to Vegas to get married, and we're in the casino. We had rented a whole huge wedding package. He got tux and shoes. I got a rented gown, the whole thing, makeup done in the room. And we're coming through the casino floor, and someone that we know that we karaoke with in Pennsylvania.
No, in North Carolina.
North Carolina is in the freaking casino and sees us.
Joe.
And he took our picture. And it was one of those cameras that used to put the digital stamp right on the photo, right? Well, I had that photo in a frame at work. If it was not for the freaking digital photo, I would have never remembered our date that we got married. And that's the only reason I remember the month and the day, but the year always, because we knew each other longer than that. We were together for a while before we got married. So,
yeah.
know, so yeah, 17 years of marriage coming up in April.
Yep.
April 4th.
Yep.
So, hey there. Hey, Denise. Gracias. And Patty, that's you and your family, huh? Got it. Hey, there's no sleep number beds in Mexico, I take it. Well, not in an Airbnb anyway.
Not that we have found.
And honest to goodness, I mean, unless they have proper support, that sleep number bed would sink in the middle too. I don't know.
Oh God, they're even heavier.
Yeah.
Because they got motors in them. So you have to have the right base for that.
Right.
But that would be,
See, so Jenny, you're by yourself and you're living on 500 in Hidalgo and you have a good command of Spanish language. So yeah, it can.
Well, I hope she does. Yeah. She teaches it.
Absolutely. It can be done.
Yeah.
But from people, I think most of the people who watch us are not in that position. Maybe they're not fluent in Spanish. They're not, maybe they are, or they aren't.
If you want to become fluent in Spanish, Expat Spanish is the place to go. Amy will get you taken care of.
I'm going to pull that up real quick, guys, because guess what? If I
think next week I start level 4.
Oh, I don't even have it here. I need to do that. Shame on me. I should have that here. I'll put that in next time.
Yes.
But yeah, we are. I'm actually starting level 2 this week.
And she cheated because she got to listen to all of level 2.
Hey, I walked at the Farmacia today and I asked if they could get me 2 bottles of one drug and 3 bottles of another drug and 1 box of the last one. And I did it perfectly.
Yep. And then even understood when she came back and
she came back and said they had a promotion.
Tenemos una promoción,
yes.
Una promoción.
Boom. So I ended up getting
4 botellas.
4 botellas. A 4 botellas.
So,
yes, I actually understood.
You want to put a sale on? Come on.
That's right. So I'm getting better. And I'm actually using it. And that's what's important. That's the part that I was missing before, is hearing it, understanding it, and speaking it.
Yep.
And being understood. See? And you need a sheet of plywood under the mattress better than slat boards. Well, yeah, but it's not our bed. And plywood probably could also bow. It would probably bow as well after a while.
No, I mean, all we need is a couple of pieces of 2x4 about yay high. But I'm not going to the trouble.
The slats are running this way, and there's nothing in the middle of the slat.
Well, that's why they put king beds on twin box springs, because that gives you the support running right down the middle. But
exactly. It's like a lot of times everywhere we've stayed, if there's been a king bed, it's actually had 2 beds pushed together with a king mattress on the top. And that makes perfect sense. But this is not like that. This is literally a king frame with no center support.
Yep. So
you're sleeping in a taco. Oh, do you rent or own, Jenny? Oh, there you go.
Joe and Britt.
Joe and Britt, thanks for joining us tonight. And what we got here? Aren't the same size in the U.S. No sleep number here. Oh, I didn't even know that, Ernie. Thank you. I was like, maybe
I know they're not the same size because
I thought maybe they would have, sleep number or something.
I mean, we can tell that because we brought our sheets with us from the States. We had 2 sets of kings that we really liked the sheets, and so we brought them with us. And yeah, they're a little bit oversized for what
they're a little different,
but we make do with them. But the matrimonial. They call it a matrimonial for a reason, because you are going to be on top of one another, because that's the only way 2 people can sleep in that size bed.
Oh my gosh. You couldn't even roll over in a matrimonial. You can't even roll over. No, at all. That's one of those where you lift and flip. You flip it like a pancake.
If you're going to change sides, you just get out of the bed and then get back in.
On the other side.
Facing the other direction, because
you know what's really stupid? I'm sure some of you guys remember this. When you would be in a college dorm and the dorm beds were always like these really, really long twin mattress type beds. And I remember being small enough when I used to not be as large as I am now, that I could lay in that bed, that twin bed, with my boyfriend, and we would sleep the night in that bed. Now we'd be spooning the whole night, but the 2 of us slept in that bed. What?
I'm not saying a word. Just
you did more than spooning, I'm sure.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Spooning. Okay. Let's see. Jenny, you know what? I think we all do this. I'll type things, and I swear I typed something completely different than what I actually wrote. And I'll say send because I thought I was all right. And then I'll read what I sent, and I'm like,
yeah,
all the time. Yeah.
Responding to you guys' great comments, there's a couple of times in there I'm just like, invite, oh shit. Natural. No. I mean, it's like.
And then the grammar police comes in after the fact a day or 2 later and fixes the there, the to. I see it. I fix it.
But you don't have to do that often.
No. I don't. Sleep Number beds are very light. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that, Chris. That's interesting. Huh. Well, we used to have our favorite mattress was literally a memory foam mattress that we purchased from Costco. We had that thing for at least 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
No dips. It wasn't worn out. It was firm, comfortable. It kept us cool. It wasn't too hot. I mean, it was a great mattress. I really hated that we wouldn't have a mattress like that here. But I mean, come on, what are you going to do? Those things are having these big boxes, and then once they expand, you can never get them back down in size. It was never going to come with us. So it is what it is.
No.
Occasionally, we will buy a foam topper. If the mattress is really bad, we'll get it from Amazon, less than $100.
Yeah, but the good news about that is we're able to, we are on topper number 3.
Yeah.
So we've been able to try out 3 different toppers, and we know that this one, not doing it. The first one we got, the one we had in El Tejar was the best.
Oh yeah, we've had 3 types so far.
3 different types.
The best one was Lucid that we tried. I can't remember what the second one was. It wasn't bad, but it was one of those ones with the carved out swirl patterns.
It had 5 different patterns throughout the length of the bed, and it was sort of a. And then this one is just a flat foam, and it was like it'll keep you cool.
It's supposed to have cooling gel beads. No, this one's too hot.
In the words of Sir Dragon X, boo, because it does not keep us cool.
It does not. But we've only bought 3 of them so far, and if we don't have the ability to take it to the next place, we just leave it. It's only $100. Everywhere we're staying is for a minimum of 30 days. So that's
like they got it first in Playa car, and so we're going to get 14 weeks, use out of it. So it's coming up to about 50 cents a night. Well, if it improves the quality of sleep, 50 cents a night, well worth it.
Of course, it still dips in the middle with the rest of the mattress.
Well, I can't help that part.
Oh, no. Oh, taco bed. We're finding a lot of the beds are very low to the ground. Yes. And as are the furniture a lot of the time.
And what's really interesting there, Terry, is that before we made the move here, we had the other extreme. I mean, our bed was high.
I had to climb into bed. Yeah.
I mean, it reached the point we actually had to get steps, a ramp, so that the boy could get up into the bed with us, because he couldn't get there anymore. Because it was like he'd sit down there and go, oh.
He couldn't do it.
And he was like, I ain't gonna make this, am I? And it was like,
even the cat was getting to the point that the cat was like clawing its way up to get into the bed.
Well, that was a good thing. The cat didn't get up there, but the boy, that was different.
But yes, the chairs, the sofas, the beds do tend to be lower. I think it's probably because of the stature of the majority of the people that use them.
Oh, it works well for you.
Thank you.
I'm just saying.
A lot of Mexican people tend to be my height.
Yeah.
Maybe shorter than me at times. They don't typically tend to be 6 feet tall with really long legs. So that makes sense to me. That they would be built to the specs of the majority of the clients that they will serve. And so that's another thing that I always like. Why is this furniture so uncomfortable? It isn't always.
It isn't always. I mean, this is what we're on right now.
Yeah. I mean, this is good. This is good. But the futon for a bed, the futon for a couch, that phenomenon blows my mind. I can't stand those. And toilets also. Yes, Terry. The toilets do also tend to be a little lower. I have also noticed that. And when you got bad knees, that can be hard. It's hard.
That's exactly what I was going to get to, was that as if you suffer from Uncle Arthur, arthritis, like some of us do, when the knees are higher than the hips, trying to get back up, your knees are going, Really? You think you're going to do this type of sitting, and here's the price you're going to pay. Get ready for the pain. So
Pain
is what it is. But this place, the furniture is pretty good. The only thing I've had to do is double or triple up the cushion on the outside.
He's got a bony butt. He's got no cushion in his tush. No cushion in tush.
And we're
what?
Well, we had a brief momentary freeze there.
Where?
You're not seeing how we just had one.
Oh.
I'm just pointing it out.
But please don't tell me that. Why are we plagued with issues when it comes to these lives lately?
Because we're supposed to be getting the hell out of the Yucatan Peninsula.
Because we need to get out of the Yucatan. That's why. I noticed this the other day. I love to run barefoot. I run barefoot all the time. This is the first place where we have stayed where my feet do not get filthy.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Because, in Querétaro, in central Mexico in general, it's dusty.
Mm-hmm.
But my feet were getting dirty in Querétaro. They got dirty in San Miguel. They got dirty in
Mérida,
and
Progreso,
and they were.
Valladolid.
It was really dusty in San Luis Potosí.
Oh yeah.
I was mopping and cleaning a couple times a week because it was so dusty. In Mérida, in Progreso, my feet get dirty in a couple of days to the point where they're just gross looking, disgusting. Not here. I'm amazed. I don't get it. I don't know why this is so clean. Maybe because it's new. But there's doors open and close. Dust is everywhere, but it's clean in here. I don't know. I'm pretty impressed with that. He's back. He's coming back. Do you have enough drinks?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got plans. Let's see. So we're going to go see first week of April. We're going to be going to the Hard Rock Resort in Puerto Aventuras. I've been there 3 times prior.
Yeah, 3 times to the Riviera Maya version and then 1 time to the Punta Cana version.
But this particular location is where this music festival was held from the beginning. And so it's kind of like going home. But this time, the festival has grown to the point where not only is the resort sold out, but they sold probably the equivalent of about
a second resort.
Yeah, they sold about.
They're over 80% sold out at Unico.
Unico Resort is providing about an additional 1,000 people to the festival.
Minimum.
And that is a 15-minute minimum drive between resorts. So we have this feeling that these Unico guests are going to come over in the morning. And of course, they're going to want to stay at the festival because there's things going on all day, which means that they're also going to be in all the restaurants. And the pools are going to be full and the lagoons are going to be full. And this is the one time where I am so happy that we spent the extra money to get the suite that we got, because we can stand up in that suite on that balcony and watch the show and never have to get into that mess. And we can.
And this is normally held about the time of the year of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so it's cooler. Not now.
And this year, no. They're going to take on the Final Four, which, she made dinner reservations. And I'm like, okay, we're here because you love this band. I am not going to dinner if the Tar Heels are playing. No, not that's just.
Oh, this was the special dinner.
Yeah, it's a special dinner.
It's our anniversary.
No,
dinner.
It's not. Our anniversary is Thursday. That's not our anniversary that night. The band is important to you. My Tar Heels are important to me.
I understand.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Except that this is a special dinner. I'm going to tell you why. Because this resort is all inclusive, so all the restaurants are included in your stay. But this was a paid dinner because this is an ultimate sensory experience. If you guys have seen like the Picasso and the Monet projection shows where they put all their art on walls and on the floor and on the ceiling, it's like that, but it's a dinner. And each course that gets brought out is a different environment for that particular course. So it could be, you're jet setting someplace. You could be in the jungle. You could be in London. It's really cool. It's cool. And you can touch things on the table and make the table do stuff. And yeah. So it is special.
It is. And if Tar Heels are playing basketball at that time, Tar Heels.
Okay.
That just saying. That's,
Minimum of 4 people required for the meal.
good.
So who's taking your place?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
I'm just putting it out there that
I don't think they're playing. I thought you already clarified that.
I in my best guess is they will be playing the first game, not the second game, if they make the Final Four. I'm just going on record as saying if they're playing the second game. Yeah, well, excuse me, but we're spending a lot more than $150 to go see the band. So, yeah.
So Denise, adding a weather strip to the door removes the.
I think that I really do believe, because the sliding glass doors in this place.
Yeah.
You don't need a Planet Fitness membership here. All you got to do is work with these sliding glass doors.
Oh, that's true. You're like,
these are the heaviest sliding glass doors I have ever in my life dealt with.
And there is a strip around these doors.
And there are strips on there. So, yeah I think that definitely plays an impact on that.
You're onto something. Hola, Bob. Thank you. I'm glad that you're here tonight with us. So, hey, yeah, see? Look, watch the Tar Heels on your phone at dinner, man.
No. They're doing a whole spread for the Final Four, for the first, the first 2 does. If they're playing, nope.
Wait, are they doing a spread on the night of our?
Yes.
On the night of our?
Yes.
Oh, come on. Them in their last minute schedules.
Well, I didn't create the schedule, but that's what it is.
I'm going to have to look at that.
No, and the other problem with that, Lisa, is my phone. I don't, and so it's like a screen set up outside, and everybody's going to be able to sit at their chair, and then they will bring me beverages, and it'll be like,
hey, you getting ready to book the place in February? That's awesome. That is awesome. It's exciting.
Outstanding.
It's exciting, right?
It is.
It really is.
I mean, we were so pumped just to get to Querétaro, and
oh my gosh,
and it was like walking on air, for that first couple of weeks, and
how about when we went to go get the money out of the ATM?
Yeah,
and we were there like 2 days, and somebody was like, "Gringos R Us," and we're like, "What?
Huh? Who?" and fortunately, Querétaro was a very soft landing, and we got so fortunate in getting to meet, God, who was it? Was that Susan and Ronaldo?
Yep.
And then Liz and Romy and Cesar and Annie Vet and Arlene and Roddy and so I'm leaving somebody out, I know, but Juanjo. I mean,
Juanjo.
It just was like we were just sort of flying going through that whole thing, and it was like,
it was pretty wild. I'll take Mark's place, Greg. If only you were going to one big holiday, that would be amazing, right?
Hey, I don't think that's much to ask, since I'm going to 4 days of listening to music that.
I mean, I could potentially ask my sister from another Mr. Laura, although I did ask her 4 weeks ago, and she hasn't responded yet. She said, let me think about it. Well,
and that was before we found out that this was actually being done the same night that the Final Four was taking place. So,
and Denise, you are so right. Anyone who's watching, we could not stress this enough. Denise is so right. Moving to Mexico is life-changing.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had this conversation last night. We had dinner with our friends that just bought the place just south of Playa Car there. And we were having an excellent dinner and sitting around having a few beverages outside and having a talk. And it was like, once you get rid of the stress, be it workplace stress, being the stress of whatever was affecting you from where you were before, it somehow seems that once you cross the border, that stays on the other side. It really does. I mean, you have to work hard to bring that stress with you.
I see people doing it in Facebook groups, but
but I mean, you have to work hard to maintain it, because otherwise, if you just go with the flow, it's gone, and you're going.
And it is life changing, and you can't help but be grateful that you've got a country that's so close, that's willing to embrace you and give you this opportunity, to live a different life
and show you how to go through life smiling, having fun, laughing, talking to one another, and you can't help but just go, let's see, which is better. I like the way they're doing it down here. And when you can walk through a Hardin, 9:00 at night, and you see families out walking around and laughing, having fun, and young couples who are just not worrying about, somebody gonna look at my girl, da da da. I mean, you
dissing me.
Well, I'm just,
I know it is, but it is very life changing.
It's like taking the blinders off and going, wow, this is what life really can be like. Oh, okay, sign me up.
What if it were Indians versus North Carolina?
Well, since one of them been in a tournament, I encountered that once. I think it was called 1983. No, I'm sorry, 1981. We lost in 81. We won in 82. In 81, we lost to Indiana. So, yeah.
Okay.
That was Dean Smith versus Bobby Knight.
Oh.
2 Hall of Fame coaches. But
Bobby Knight was the angry guy, right?
Yes, he was the angry guy. and in 81, we didn't have a freshman named Michael Jordan. We had him in 82, and that's when we took down the Nets.
Hey, Tom. How's it going? That calls for a huge celebration in the Pueblo of Tequila, a weekend bender at least. We're going to be going to Oaxaca soon.
Well, the problem we have now is, see, Tom came down and gave us pre-resort training last time.
That is true.
Now, this time we're going to have to go to the resort without that pregame, preparation.
Our pregame is off right now.
Yeah.
We have no pregame.
So we're just going to have to fly this one the way it goes.
I know. Greg, 2.5 weeks in November in Mexico was the less stress I've had in a while. Yes.
It really is. It's amazing how you can just turn off the whole, I'm not paying attention to what, idiot A and idiot B are both talking about and calling the other ones idiots, and they're both old men and whatever. And, everybody's going, but no, whatever. Ain't our problem. We're down here.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
I
mean, I'm working on genealogy. I'm watching documentaries on Netflix.
God, I'll be glad when you get done with this one.
I'm watching a documentary.
Oh, God.
On the evolution of hip hop music. Now, he hates hip hop. He's not a fan. I like it. I like certain styles. What I like about this documentary series is, as a white middle America type woman, I am very, very educated in the various styles of, say, rock music. All the different genres of rock music, the histories, the players, the shakers, the movers. I grew up with it. What I never understood was the differences in hip hop. And so I'm learning that from this show. And I like it. It's teaching me a lot. And
it all sounds same to me. I mean, that's just.
I know. But what I'm learning is
I know
the difference between the evolution of the break, the introduction of funk in the West Coast, the introduction of gospel in the South. I mean, it's fascinating, and you can hear it once they point it out and demonstrate it, and the people are commenting on it. You actually can pick it up. You do hear it, and I find that fascinating. So,
she finds it fascinating, and yes, I hear it.
He's waiting for it to end. He's hearing the same drum machine over and over. I know he is, and I feel bad for him, but I'm picking up and I'm learning stuff, and I think that that's culturally significant.
It is.
You know.
Education is good.
Hey, hola, nature lover. Thank you for joining us tonight. Oh, I see a question about drone. Drone, what do I have? We have a DJI Air 2S. And I know they have a newer one out.
That we officially never fly.
Yeah. In Mexico, you have to be a Mexican citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Not a resident.
Not a resident.
A citizen to fly a drone. Mm-hmm. And wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
We've never flown ours. Nope.
We try really hard to not be obvious or obnoxious about it. So have I flown it when there might have been official people in the vicinity? It's happened. Have I flown it?
Well, the only time we've really been called down on it was that time at the ski pond. When the woman who drove the train around the square looked at you and went,
she didn't want anybody flying a drone.
I understand. I'm saying that's the only time we've been called on it.
She just didn't want anybody flying a drone. It wasn't because of who we were. I did fly it one time over an archaeological site, which you're not really supposed to do at all.
Well, yeah, but we weren't in the archaeological
We weren't
site.
Inside the archaeological site. We were sitting in a
moving and storage company's parking lot.
We were in a parking lot with a bunch of semi-tractor trailers.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember how to say it.
El Pueblito. El Pueblito.
It was El Cerrito. But otherwise, I'm always very respectful. And if I do send it off, I try to send it off from the roof of wherever we are.
And quite honestly, to be fair, a lot of the places now are actually saying no drone. I mean,
they'll post a sign.
They'll post signs that go, I mean, the lavender farm was no drone. Which I thought was fascinating. I know.
I mean, it's lavender, but yeah, no drone.
The nature reserve in Progresso, no drones. Which I get that, because you can fly a drone, you ain't gonna see anything because it's in a jungle. I mean, when you go the coyotes or the raccoons,
right? Right. Anyway.
So.
But I do occasionally fly it. I haven't flown it lately though, because there really hasn't been. I mean, I wasn't going to do anything in Playa Car. There was nothing really to see there, and we're in the middle of the jungle.
And green sort of looks green. Sort of looks green.
So there really hasn't been a reason to fly it here either. So I don't know. Yeah. So yes, you can have a drone. You could fly the drone, but legally speaking, you're not really allowed to. Just saying. It could be one of those things where people just look the other way unless you're causing a commotion.
Are you going to take it to Hard Rock?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not taking it to Hard Rock. There's going to be way too many people. And
there will be official drones.
I did actually take it to Excellence and take it out to the pier at Excellence. I flew it up and down the beach. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. I figured a lot of people weren't up. Went in from the ocean to the pier.
Eventually, you'll see that footage.
And I got front of the resort. And then I took real quick. So it was back out over the ocean and coming into the pier. That's when the security at Excellence came up to me. And they said, you cannot fly a drone here. I get it. You know what? Some of these hotel rooms have rooftop that's part of their room. And you're invading privacy at that point.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you got the jacuzzi up there on the roof. I mean,
right. But I knew that, which is why I was doing it at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was like, oh, nobody's going to be up because they were up last night till 2.
Well, maybe they were up until 6:30, and
yeah,
I
know, but you really do have to be. I know some of the rules, even for residents, or not residents. Let me take that back.
Citizens.
For citizens,
It has to be under a certain grammage.
Yeah, there has to be. Weight
restrictions.
There's weight restrictions. There's population restrictions. I mean, like
archaeological.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can't fly it over any of the archaeological sites without a permit from.
Oh, and they charge you for that permit.
Oh,
man.
yeah,
Ooh,
from the Department of
it's like
INH.
one of these.
You better know somebody.
Yeah. I was kind of bummed about that because they even charge you if you're carrying a GoPro or like a 360 cam like we have. You have to pay a camera fee. That's usually not a lot.
Normally it's like 50 to 100 pesos depending upon the place. But
when it comes to the drones, oh no.
Ooh, no.
And if you have a camera on a tripod, oh no.
No. No.
Yeah. They consider that professional. And they want you to buy the license and all
regardless of whether you're putting a $99 camera on a $39 tripod, you take the tripod, you're going to pay. And that's no. That's,
It's true. It's true. It does limit your creativity just a little bit, but
Yep.
And I got this new phone. Where is my new phone? It's working pretty good now. I got the Galaxy S24 Ultra. I turned in an S22 Ultra.
Finally.
Finally. So when I ordered this, I said I had a trade-in. They never sent instructions on how to return my trade-in.
So anybody who's thinking about doing a trade-in or purchase here in Mexico on like a Samsung phone, it's not as easy as it is in the U.S.
No, it is harder.
I mean, it
is harder.
It's a little bit more convoluted. You can't take it into the local store,
which
because they go, nope, you have to deal with Samsung Mexico on this,
right?
And so and then you pay for the entire price of the phone up front.
Yep, they don't knock off any amount and wait for you to send the phone in.
Correct.
So you got to pay up front.
Yep,
and then you have to refund you.
No, you got to wait for them to send you the email for you to send them the phone so they can assess it to see what they're going to give you
Which
for it.
Should have come right after I received the phone, and it did not. And so for 2 to 3 weeks, I tried a couple of times online with Samsung Mexico support, trying to do this with Spanish and English, translation back and forth.
Which guess what the new phone is supposed to be able to do astoundingly well.
Well, no, I'm doing this online on chat.
I know, but
forget the phone. It's got nothing to do with this part. And so then finally, after I just about gave up on getting my money back for the trade-in, I think, man, maybe I'll just go ahead and stick it on, Facebook Marketplace or something, which I really didn't want to do. I get an email from Samsung, and it basically said, oh, we were so overwhelmed with the amount of pre-sale, and we were not able to keep up with the demand, and we will be sending you your instructions on your trade-in soon. So another couple weeks go by, and I finally get the email, and we're here. We were just moving here, and now we got to find us a FedEx. There is no FedEx in Tulum.
Nope.
So we had to drive back to PDC.
Yep.
I get to the FedEx at PDC. course, I'm trying to say this all in Spanish. I
Hold on,
asked him.
whoa. FedEx, they're in PDC, and it's siesta time.
It's siesta. They're not open.
They're closed.
They're closed until 2.
You know,
So I asked him if he's able to print the label there. Nope. So I have to go to is it Papeleria? Papeleria. And they do this so often, which I didn't realize this, but it makes sense. They do this so often that they literally have their email address on the back of their register.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent them my label and it instantly got there. They printed it out. What, 5 pesos? 3 pesos.
3 pesos.
3 pesos. They print out my label, but I don't have a shipping box. I have the box that I flipped, the new phone out and put the old one in, but I don't have a shipping box. So back to the FedEx. I asked him if I could buy a box. Yes. He proceeds to come out with a bag and a box. He wraps everything up inside the bag, rolls the bag up until it looks like a football, and then sticks it in the box. I think he was going to forget to charge me for the box. And the box was like
20
pesos.
See?
Like nowhere in, if you were to go to a FedEx in the United States, do you think that a shipping box at FedEx would cost you $1? I think not.
Probably correct.
So I pay $1 for the shipping box. I paid 3 pesos for somebody to print the label.
Yep.
And it finally got shipped off. Now, I have not received an email yet from Samsung saying that they got it, and I haven't received a credit yet.
But we did get confirmation for the tracking that they got it.
Yes.
Yeah. So
the FedEx tracking says that it was received.
The FedEx tracking part, we know that they have received it. Just Samsung Mexico has just been trying to keep up, and I got a feeling they didn't expect this much participation on that phone when it rolled out, which is their own damn fault because they did this whole unveil online that made it sound like the second coming. And so people are like, oh, I got to have this phone. And okay, now deal with what you sold it. Now you got to deal with the back end of it. No, I'm just pointing out.
It got it done. It was just a really long, drawn-out process.
Yes, and required a trip all the way back to PDC.
Yes, I know. Oh, wait, Paco. So Paco in Riviera Maya flies his drone in PDC. Oh, I'm sure. Yes, yes. People fly drones all over Mexico. It's just that we know what the laws are, but I don't think the laws get.
No, nobody
really follows the law.
Yeah, really. Unless you're an absolute idiot, an
obnoxious
idiot. If you're respectful and you're aware of what's going. Well, case in point, one time, honestly.
Yeah.
When we were in Querétaro, and they're setting up for Christmas, and she's flying it up above the people's heads and everything else down the streets as they're setting up. Probably not our best moment.
We probably shouldn't have done
Probably not what we really should have done.
No.
But,
And then we found out.
It was
but we try to be respectful.
Yeah.
We got some great shots in Querétaro, so I was glad we did
that. When people are having to only look up 5 feet to see the drone, it's like, it's probably not cool.
Yeah, Cindy, it was a bit of a mess with the phone. It's a learning experience, though, and at least it sets a level of expectation. At the same time, I'm very happy that I purchased a phone in Mexico. I know I paid more for it, but I also have support for it. So, we had a support plan for phones in the United States, but what good does it do us here? It doesn't. If I had to turn, and my phone was starting to act funny. So if I had to have my phone worked on, what was I going to do? I was going to have to ship it back to the U.S. Were they going to ship it back to me? Was it going to cost me more? It's just, the logistics just didn't make sense anymore. And I'm like, look, we're in Mexico. We're living in Mexico. I need to buy a Mexican phone. And it just made sense to do so. And knowing that, we knew that it would cost more. But I now have a phone that is under warranty and has a protection plan in Mexico. It's even got a protection plan against theft. I have never seen that on a plan in the United States. Maybe it's there and I just ignored it, but I was impressed that there was a plan against theft.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. So, yeah.
As long as they steal yours and not mine.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean. Thank you. 2 years, man. 2 years. Wait. I love box.
I ain't going there.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently I do not know. And phone plans are way cheaper. They are, but I still have a US plan.
Oh,
That in of itself was also a nightmare because AT&T is our US plan. I need to have it for work, and AT&T has eSIMs locked down like it's the biggest crime in the world that somebody might potentially steal your eSIM. And I have had to have them mail the eSIM.
That was the first time. That was
the second time I wasn't doing it, and I couldn't get anybody here in Mexico to help me with an eSIM because it was a US eSIM.
That is correct.
So I had to give permission on our account online to our youngest daughter, who still lives in North Carolina. She agreed to go to the store on our behalf and get me a QR code for a new eSIM. But then they made me call the fraud department anyway to validate that she was who she said she was. And it came with 2-factor authentication over the phone with the fraud department and everything else.
And did we actually add her to? Yes, we added it.
She's already there. She's there.
She's standing there.
I mean, it was such a hassle to get the eSIM activated on this phone. And then I have a Telcel card, which I just pop in. Eventually one day, I may be able to just totally get rid of the US number, but that's not today. That's not a battle that I'm going to fight at the moment. So
no, the only one of the two of us that could do that would be me. So, but that's not going to happen. So you have AT&T, but don't understand SIMs. Well, I never played Sims.
The short version is there's a SIM card, nano cards are pretty much what they use now, and you slide that in, and that has basically all the data for them to identify your phone number with that card, so it will work with your phone. And then there is the eSIM. And the eSIM is built into the phone. So
it's the same thing. It has the same.
It's a SIM card, but it's built into the phone.
Yep.
And the phone has identification numbers that they then link up with.
It's Big Brother tracking you.
The phone has identification numbers in the model of the phone and everything that is linked up with the eSIM. The problem with AT&T is that it's not an AT&T phone.
Well,
if it was an AT&T phone,
right,
they would have control over the phone.
Yep.
But I have an unlocked phone. I've been buying an unlocked phone for 4 or 5 years now. So I don't have to deal with that crap. And because of that, and because of the way AT&T works, they don't have access to my phone. And so
and part of this to be in my opinion, IMO, they want to make it as painful as possible for people who come in on their plans buying unlocked phones. They want you to purchase it from them.
Yeah.
Because, oh, yeah, sure. Here, let us do this all for you. Here's your phone. You're done. And if you walk in with the unlocked phone, because they aren't the ones that sold it, they're going to go, oh, here's a hurdle. Here's another hurdle. Here's another hurdle. And you got to go through all of this just so you can use the phone and have the honor of paying them $100+
I think he's on to something, because other companies like T-Mobile and stuff don't give you this much grief doing this process. But AT&T's
you just
different.
Not figuring out that I'm on to something?
Yeah.
No.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
after 17
there
years.
you go. So you got to keep the same numbers. Exactly. So I was transferring my number from the old phone to the new phone, and it was just instead of just popping cards, which would have been easier, but I only have one SIM card. Some phones have 2 SIM card slots. If I had a phone that had that, I wouldn't be dealing with all this eSIM stuff, but I don't.
Well, in some phones you can change the batteries on, but that's suddenly not the case either.
Right. I believe it was Tangerine Travels that mentioned an app so you can keep a U.S. number without having an actual plan.
Yes.
Yes, you can. But my problem is that I work for IT companies who have very high-level 2-factor authentication programs. One of them being Duo, and there's another program they use as well. And these things are tight.
Yep.
And I didn't want to risk not being able to use, to have to use this app, and it doesn't work with those applications. So
the $140 a month to keep that U.S. plan,
yeah,
versus what she is making or can make by being employed in the U.S., it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, that's the price we got to pay for her to be able to get a job in IT,
Right.
and get paid from the States. Okay.
I mean, let's look at it this way: we're paying $142 a month for our AT&T plan. If it was half of that, which it would never be half of that, because they're always going to charge more for a single person to have a plan, than as if it was 2 people put together and then you get a discount.
Why should it
So-
matter if you're single or you're married?
It's not what I mean.
I'm joking.
Oh, so let's say that the plan cost me $80 a month. My Telcel plan with the current conversion that I just renewed was $12.
Yeah.
Now, here's the difference though. The Telcel does not include voicemail. Voicemail is something you have to pay extra for, and I don't want it.
And that was a fun episode. They're trying to get that turned off.
I had to go into a Telcel and finally ask them to eliminate these voicemail notifications from my phone, because I couldn't call in and delete them. And so if you get a number that someone else maybe previously had, and now you're getting these phone calls and they're leaving voicemail, you can't retrieve the voicemail. But the notification that you have voicemail
Keeps showing up.
never goes away. You can erase it and it just comes right back. And I was dealing with this for a year, and I went into a Telcel office because the Telcel store could not help me. And
he tried valiantly. He
tried.
He gave it his best shot, and then finally he was
Right.
like, "Going to have to go to the customer service center."
And I went into a Telcel business office in the customer service center, and he was done. I said, I want the voicemail deactivated. I don't want it. But so you're not paying for voicemail, and I'm getting the 200. I have the 200 peso plan. I can't remember how many. I think it's 3 gig or something. But I mean, like, there's limits in the data. It's
not like we really
it's
use
not
that much.
It's not an unlimited plan. Is what I'm trying to say. AT&T plan that I have in the U.S. is unlimited. It's international for Canada and Mexico. There's no limits on data. There's no limits on messages. I got voicemail. It's got all that stuff, right? The Telcel plan does not have all that stuff, but the Telcel plan is only $12 a month.
Yeah.
So,
And quite honestly, it's not like she's on the phone that much.
No.
I mean,
the only reason I have that number,
it's work.
the Telcel number, the reason
Oh.
I have the Telcel number is because if we were to order food, for example,
Oh God, which never works for us.
which it never seems to work.
Yeah,
But sometimes they do call. If I order something in Mexico and it needs to be delivered, I will give that number, because sometimes a delivery person will call.
DHL guy did that.
Yeah. So I use it for stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's it. So, and Tom is doing the $5 a month extra for Canada-Mexico service on the phone. You help with Telcel. Yes, we can do that.
We can discuss that over, I don't know, a beverage or two, and figure out which one's the right one. And
Right. And yes, Jenny, the authentication. I was going to port our number to Google Voice, And then I realized I could run into issues
Yep.
with these authentication programs that the employer is using, and they're not using your typical. I mean, I actually have to install 2 different apps on my phone for the authentication process.
And the other part of that is they may know that she's not where she's saying she is, but you don't want to make it so obvious that they just sort of have to go, all right, look, we know where you're at.
Right.
It's easy. She's trying to make it as easy for them possible to just go, you do your job, well.
Don't ask, don't tell.
We're not looking,
Exactly.
We got a feeling this might be occurring, but we really don't care.
See, so Sean, you know what I'm talking about, the voicemail. Exactly. It's like you call it and the call doesn't go through. So you can't delete it. You try to erase it off your phone, but it keeps coming back.
It's the boomerang.
So yeah, it's just horrible. So yeah, I had to go in. Oh, wait, what's this? What? Okay. Apparently your cat had something to say. Your cat was contributing to the conversation.
The cats always have something to say. And normally, at least that was the safe for work version, because most of the time what cats really want to say is not safe for work.
No, what they want to say is,
they can look at you and go,
let me throw up in your shoe.
You fall one time in your mind.
Let me figure eight between your legs.
Yeah.
I could live off of you, human, for a month.
Don't trust them feline things.
Oh, cats are great.
You really want to say that after the last one we had with?
I can't help the last one. The last one was old and senile. The last one was at least 20 years old, minimum.
It didn't take me 20 years to get his name right.
Yeah. He was old and senile.
His name was Asshole Cat.
We did call him Asshole Cat for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Toward the end.
Yeah.
He was he would climb up on our coffee table and stare straight at us and take a dump. I'm not even kidding.
If it hadn't been that he was there for the entire life of the dog, he would have been gone a long time ago.
But there was a time when Buddha was a baby. We liked Buddha. Oh, Sean has 5 cats. I know. I like the cats. And if you speak cat, you are bilingual.
No.
Yeah.
I prefer the dog.
I love my doggy, though. I do miss my dog. Our friends, we went to their house and had dinner, and they have 2 medium to large size dogs that are just the most lovable, cuddly dogs. They are face lickers.
Yeah, they're about 3/4 dogs.
They're face lickers, and they're lap dogs, head on your lap, and they just want to be petted.
And they want to get as close as possible.
Adorable. Just adorable. One looks like a little teddy bear in the face.
Yep.
I don't know what she is. I think she's just mixed breed.
Don't know.
But
they're rescue dogs.
She got into the pool with us briefly.
She got in the pool more than I got in the pool.
Yes, she did.
I know.
She absolutely did. Okay.
So
what's up?
So 2 weeks we will be here. We will probably not be alone.
Oh, that's right. So I have friends that I have.
What a shock. You actually have friends?
I do.
Ah.
I do have friends. These are friends that I met through my Morning Jacket fan club and going to concerts. They live in Colorado. It's Shay and Garrett. Shay and Garrett, about a year ago, did a trial run of living 3 months in Mexico. They brought their children. They loved it a lot, but they're not really financially in a place right now to make it happen.
Well, especially with the age of their kids, and that makes it a little harder.
And so I knew that Garrett knew some people in the production company, and Garrett had the uncanny knack of getting the best suite in the resort a couple of years in a row. And so I just said, roommates this year, we're in if you are. And he basically said, yeah. And so we're going to be in the best suite in the resort. And I'm looking forward to it. And they should be coming here the day before. So that they might be here for that live.
I'm thinking,
I mean,
but
if
they may
they-
not be on camera or
Yeah,
anything
they may
else.
not be. I'll ask them if they are comfortable, maybe doing the live with us, and they can discuss their experience in the 3 months that they spent.
Well, they got married here in Tulum.
And they got married in Tulum, but
Uh-huh.
with the family, they were in the West Coast. I know that they spent some time in Puerto Vallarta, and I cannot remember where else, but it was smaller towns after that. Maybe they would be interested in talking a little bit about their experience. That could be a cool idea. I'll run it by Garrett and Shay and see how they feel about that. That could be fun.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh. And you have a 20-year-old cat, Brenda.
Oh,
And you're dealing
yeah.
with the pee in the corners. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I bought black lights. The black lights that we have that we check our mattresses and our bedding with when we travel.
And do scorpion hunting
And
with.
scorpion hunting. Those were actually purchased for that purpose. As your cat gets older, these things start happening. And,
Well, and the dog too.
and the dog as well. It's true. And so I would go around and look at all the corners, the baseboards. I would clean them up as best I could. And when we moved out of our last place, we actually had to remove some strips and replace them.
Well, we had small job Bob come in and just totally.
Small job Bob took care of it.
We just told him just do all the baseboard and just replace all that molding and.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and you feel bad because it's like, oh no, they're peeing in my house now, and what am I gonna do? Am I gonna put them down because they're peeing in my house? I mean,
Don't tempt me.
but we did end up putting them down when we had to put the dog down because, again, he was 20 years old. He was a stray that we adopted in,
And he had separation anxiety and the whole thing.
Really bad.
If he'd have been without basically his brother,
yeah,
that would have no.
He wouldn't have lasted much longer. He was already not healthy.
Yeah.
And he wasn't eating right. And we were to the point where we were giving him soft food, and he may or may not vomit it up. And he had lost a lot of weight. And although he looked healthier than the dog was, I remember that the vet who visited told us that no, he's.
Well, she basically said,
yeah,
you can sort of tell how their condition is when they give them the anesthetic
sedative. It was a sedative.
And
yeah,
she goes, if it hits him quick, yeah. And he was like, don't.
Yeah,
and it was like, okay.
He was. So we knew. And so if we were putting the dog down, we had to put the cat down too, because the cat would not have survived very much longer without the dog.
No, because I'd have killed him. Because that would have been unbearable. Because he would have just been off the chain. You know.
He just wasn't healthy anyway.
No.
I felt bad. In fact, our youngest daughter came to house sit for us, to pet sit. And she actually was asking us questions like, okay, so if one of them happens to pass while you're gone, what do you want me to do with the body? Like, that's the kind of conversations we were having. And she is a diehard cat lover. And even she recognized that things weren't good.
She's the only reason that cat lived. As cat suddenly died, I knew who was going to get blamed.
Yeah, it's coming, and it is. You feel guilty, you feel bad, and you're like, just because they start to lose.
But the whole thing really comes down to: are we keeping them alive for us more than letting them go and not have to deal in the pain? And that's the hard decision.
If you were eating every day and you threw it up half of the time, what kind of quality life is that? You know. So I totally get it.
That vet was very good in explaining all that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Dachshund, Black Lab. Don't ask about that. I'm sitting here going, how does that work exactly?
Somehow.
And the other is a pug.
somehow there's a chair or something involved. Okay. I'm just.
Oh no! All right.
Just trying to picture.
Oh Lord. But I still miss our boy. I do. I miss him. I miss him. Sometimes I have dreams about Bandit, the dog, and I wake up and I'm sad. I miss him. And so when we have a friend who has pets, I love up all over those pets. I was all over those dogs last night. I mean, and it's nice. It's nice to have that.
Yeah, I mean, it is sort of a trip back down memory lane and everything else. But right now we don't have room for. I mean, Margie's lucky she makes it, so there would be no way that we.
If you move as much as we are, it's hard anyway.
Yeah, it's hard on the.
It's hard on the pet. It's hard to find a place to stay because you have a pet. When you settle down, then you could think about having a pet. But if you want to travel after you've settled down, now you got to think again about the pet. So
because that was becoming problematic in the U.S.
Yes.
Just I mean, we had for about 4 years. We had a great pet sitter.
Yeah.
And she'd come in, and it was like,
yes.
She knew them, they knew her.
Yeah.
See ya.
She was
bye.
fantastic.
And
fantastic.
And then she relocated to another state, and then it became
a nightmare.
Yeah.
A nightmare trying to find a house sitter who could watch these pets. And I think their age turned people away. I think people know that once your pets get to a certain age, they just don't want to take that risk. So it was very hard to travel and go places because we could never get a house sitter after that and a pet sitter. So, flew my cats in from the U.S. like VIPs they are. Aww, you had to buy flights for friends to take them as carry-ons. Denise, that's awesome. That's awesome. And you know what? I'm going to say this because I'm still working on the Ginger's Jungle Rescue video, but I have to tell you something that's one of the things Ginger will do.
Mm-hmm.
Either she personally or someone she has hired will personally fly that dog.
Those dogs are not unescorted.
No, they get taken to their new adoptive parents if the adoptive parents aren't there to take them themselves. That's so impressive to me that they take that care to do that. So I love that. Hey, Tom, what you got here? Thank you. Thank you. We made it happen. You're going to Europe. Oh my gosh, Tom, that's awesome.
Let's see. Fall, we will be either in Huatuco or Oaxaca.
I think we'll be in Oaxaca.
Well, I mean, it depends on what part of the fall.
Oaxaca or Puebla.
Puebla, that may be. That's late fall. I guess that still will be late fall. So yeah, somewhere.
Oaxaca or Puebla. That's where we'll be. And we got a nice place in Puebla. Oh yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, that was our first Verbo.
That's right.
Hopefully that works out well.
Okay, let's see here. So he has the body of a dachshund and the mentality of a lab. Ooh. I'm trying to imagine that right now. And the pug is the boss. Of course. Of course the pug is the boss.
Mentality of a lab. Those are...
That's a high energy, playful dog.
You think?
Yeah. Wow.
That's not one that I would recommend for people getting to be our age, or my age. A lab, that's a lot of work. I mean, it's just because they're high energy.
They like to run. They like to exercise.
Be like going, let's get a beagle. No. Beagles are cute. Beagles are great and everything else. If you got a yard for them and you got room for them to run and play, they're great. But that's not normally the case here in Mexico. So,
and of course, every time somebody says beagle, I think of Snoopy, and I always think to myself, but he doesn't look anything like a beagle.
No.
Why is Snoopy a beagle? He doesn't look anything like a beagle. I never got that.
I don't know. Ask Charles.
Yeah, big, long, foggy black ears. He doesn't look like a beagle.
Well, now beagles do have floppy ears.
Not like that.
Well,
Not like that.
anyway,
Oh, let's see. He hates the water, and Pugs loves the pool. Aw, aw.
now we took Bandit to the beach one time.
Bandit didn't like the beach.
Nope.
He had lots of sand in him, but he
Nope.
did not like the water. And I used to take him into our pool when we lived in North Carolina, try to get him to learn how to swim a little. All he would ever do was swim back to the stairs and get out.
And, yeah, he was like,
Nope.
"Get me out of here."
He didn't want anything to do with it.
You know,
Not a water dog.
So
That's it. I don't know.
I think we are about.
I think we're out of steam. And you know what? It's been 2 hours.
See,
it's been 2 hours. Does anyone have like some questions that they want to ask before we totally sign off? Mark's running out of beer.
no, he's not. Ain't happening.
Oh gosh. How funny.
You know me better than that.
Yeah?
Yeah. After 17 years, yeah.
Do you have another case?
No, there's still 3 more in that box.
Oh, okay. I'm going to get him to do that dinner at the Hard Rock.
Yeah, well.
I already made the reservation, so. Aw. Zoe and Zeus, English Mastiffs, both loved at the pool and the beach. Aw. Oh my. English Mastiffs. That's a pretty royal looking dog. I you know what? I love watching dog shows and seeing all the different breeds. But to have a dog that loves the beach, that will play in the water, chase stuff. I mean, I always thought that was so cool to see people doing that.
Yeah, well, that wasn't our boy.
It wasn't him. Jenny said she's had best luck with beagles.
Yeah.
Very chill, not vocal, but that's not typically the case. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Black Lab adopted you? Oh.
I mean, I had a neighbor in Pennsylvania that had a black lab, and you know, that dog adopted everybody on the street because everybody knew him because he was like, he'd get out and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going over to this house. Oh yeah, I know you." And then I'm gonna run over here. Oh, I know them. And then I'm gonna run over here, and I know them. And it just was like, you know.
Oh, see, took him to La Paz for 3 months. I bet they had a great time. Hey, Cindy.
Can't wait till we get to La Paz.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I think that we are going to call it a night. We are just a minute away of 2 hours. I think that this has been a pretty good one. I'm so glad that the power didn't go out, that the sound worked, that the video worked. I mean, it has been a struggle for almost 3 months to do a decent live. Thank you, Wilfredo.
It seems like every time we have done it from the Yucatan Peninsula, it seems like something has been. Yeah.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you, Terry and Lisa. We're so happy you guys joined us tonight to just talk a little bit about it and just feel good. And it's been 2 years. It just doesn't seem like it. It's kind of crazy.
In 2 weeks, she'll be really excited because the next night.
That's right. It'll be my music festival. I'm going to be like,
yeah.
Very cool, Malicone. And Denise, I forgot to ask where you're going to next. Okay, so we're going to be in Puerto Venturas for a few days back here. And then after here, we're going to
Tuxtla Gutierrez.
Yeah, and they canceled our.
We'll tell that whole story in 2 weeks.
That's right. It got canceled. We had to buy we had to get another one at the last minute. So
Airbnb did to us again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, adios, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on our journey with us. We will be out with a new video for you again this weekend and next live. We'll see you then.